Whoa. Wow. Wow. That's my eyebrow. You lying. What? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh. Wow. Girl, you did your job. That is a perfect eyebrow. Wow. That's crazy. Wow. Nobody can tell me anything. Wow. You knew this was going to happen. You just gave me a whole nother confidence. Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. You went off.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello. Hi, it's Chai. I got my eyebrows microbladed about like 4 or 5 months ago, and I wanted to just share like an update and how like I overall feel about the whole process. And I thought it was probably I think it's one of the most like the best investment that I've made ever. When I first got to Korea, I really needed my eyebrows done. And I ended up getting them done. I ended up getting them waxed, and I just wasn't happy with the results because she totally disregarded that I wanted to keep my arch and that I wanted to keep them thin. And I was kind of just displeased with the whole thing overall because she was just like, yeah, no, I know. And I'm like, you don't know, because how do you know? Like, you don't know me. You don't know. And it kind of did steer me off, and I was like, but I'm sure, you know, there are different like other waxers that do a good job, but I was kind of already on the fence. I was like, I've been kind of looking like at microblading, and I thought like maybe it would be an interesting thing. And I did see negative results and I did see positive results. And I was on the Black Women in Korea Facebook group, and one girl had put up her positive results with this one girl on Instagram named at badgirl_brows. And I thought like, whoa, her work was really good. And I really like that she had worked with a diverse range of people. So it wasn't just like, you know, because not everything works for everybody. And I just thought she had a good background and a good a good portfolio of people. So I ended up messaging her, and I had so many questions. I was like, first off, does it hurt? And I'm pretty sure your question is that too. I didn't think it hurt, actually. I really didn't think it hurt. Like I don't know. And I have like a low pain tolerance, but the only thing that did hurt, okay, that's not true. The only thing that did hurt, so she would scratch, because you know microblading is when you get like permanent makeup on your eyebrows. So what they do is they do a needle that has the pigment, and they kind of push that into your skin. This is like easy for people who don't have the time to do their eyebrows all the time, or like for me, like I wanted to even mine out. And then also like I said, if you just want something done all the time and you don't have to do it. And this also is good for people who don't really have eyebrows. Like I know a lot of people's eyebrows can be sparse. Like mine were a little bit sparse. Like I had a lot of hair, but they weren't formed in the shape that I needed them to be formed. So it definitely helped a lot with that. I ended up getting the combination, which is the microblading itself, like when you would go and draw like the little hairs, but then also the shading, which makes it a little bit darker, which I did like because I think it kind of shows up more on my face. It costs me 200,000 won to do the combination, which is like $160-ish in US. So it is pretty expensive. Like I don't think it's something like, you know, like it's just pocket change. I definitely had to think about it. That's a lot of money. But I really truly think it was a good investment. When I went, I kept sending her messages, like, you know, asking, and I really liked that her profile had it all set up to where she would even, you know, tell you like, hey, this is what you should do a week before. I know like a frequently asked questions. So a week before, you shouldn't think like ibuprofen. Just let her know. It's not like you can't do it. Just let her know if any of this happens. I think if you're on your menstrual cycle, and I think you should not drink alcohol before. You don't want anything to make you bleed a lot. So it's just kind of like getting a tattoo, kind of like the same rules. I think when I went, I didn't bleed a lot or anything like that. I don't remember. I don't think I did a lot, but my skin is very thin, so my skin is very sensitive. So I was really nervous about it being sensitive skin. When I went, she's in Gangnam. So I went to Gangnam, and she's so sweet. She has a nice professional setup, a nice little bed for you to lay on. She's very detailed. I really like her name is Ellie. But I really like how detailed Ellie is, as she kind of talked me through everything. You have to sign like a waiver. It's kind of like the tattoo thing. It's just responsibility. Like, if this happens, blah, blah, blah. So she would go over the whole process while I'm waiting for the numbing agent to kick in. So you can't really feel pain that much anyways. But you do feel her going in, and you do feel, so she'll go in with the needle and go, and you feel it, and it does feel like a little, like, it doesn't hurt. It just feels like a, but then what kind of hurts, what stings a little bit, is when she puts the little alcohol swab or whatever it is, woo, and you're just like, ugh, like you have to like clench, because it doesn't hurt. It's just like a, woo, that's fresh, But I was really, really, really still happy with the results. And then, so after I got the first treatment, like you get your first treatment done, you go home, and she gives you this cream. She gives you this little care package for you to keep them moisturized. Now, you always want to keep them moisturized, because if you don't keep them moisturized, they end up cracking. And when they crack, that's when the pigment kind of leaves. And the whole purpose is you want to keep as much moisture as, so that, like, the pigment stays in your eyebrow. And the first 2 days or 3 days, if you look at my Everland video, my eyebrows are dark. Like, they're really dark. And that's because, like, that's when it first, like, happens, and they're really, really shiny. And then I think, so when I had to work with that, and everyone's like, what is going on? And you're like, it will fade. So then I think about the 3rd or 4th day, it started to calm down a little bit. And then I would just keep them moisturized, always keep them moisturized. And then after that, then they started to fade, like, away. And you're like, where are my eyebrows? Like, I was like, wait a minute. And then she told me that, that's pretty normal. And after that, they come back, and they come back beautiful. And I got so many like compliments when I first got them. Like, they look very crisp. They look like just brand new. Like, they look really, really good. It took about maybe like a week to heal. I also wanted to add that once you get it done, she recommends like the 7 to 10 days, just to be careful with like exercise, like nothing like super hardcore, because you don't want a lot of sweat, because it can lead to an infection. Also, when you shower, you don't want it directly like on your face. You don't want to get into a pool, like a sauna, things like that, because these can all lead to an infection. And it took about 3 hours to get everything done. And I know that does seem like a long time, but Ellie's very detailed. And like it takes some time for the numbing agent to kick in. And then the way she was literally like measuring my face, like, they're not supposed to be perfect or anything, but I told her I felt a little like self-conscious about like the one eyebrow, like the lifting a little bit higher, and like when they're sparse, it showed it more, so it kind of looked like my face was like this. And when she went in, she kind of evened it out, and I really, really, really liked that. But she was measuring, like she had a ruler, and like she was on my face, like taking the picture, and then making sure she was doing good. She was doing really good. And so then the whole other process takes about an hour, and she would clean it up and everything. So I think she did really like good. Oh no, the first time, like, she'll shape it to make sure that that's how you want it shaped. So she does check with you, and she's really detailed with that, and she'll clean them up. Then that's when she'll go in and do the process, and then you'll look at it, and she'll pull off the whatever that stuff is. I'll put the video, but you pull it off, and you're like, whoa, my eyebrows. Just she did really well. And I do think I didn't think, so when I first came to Korea, I was like, I'm not gonna get it, because Korea is really, really big on the beauty industry. And I was just like, I'm not going to get all of this done, and I'm not going to do all of that. And now I'm just like, face mask, hydrofacial, do this, do that, eyebrows. But this is definitely long-term, because look, it's been, what? I said like 5 months, and I think I'll go in closer. But I really think this is good. you know, like I all I have to do for maintenance is just clean them up. So what I do is, and I barely even do this, sometimes I forget, but I don't have to do it that often. Maybe like, it depends on how fast your hair grows, but I notice like it doesn't grow as super fast as it used to. But I just go in with this. I would do it, but I need to concentrate when I do this. But yeah, I just take a little eyebrow and go in. And I know some people can just do that on their own, and they're like, oh, you could just do that without the microblading. I like the microblading because it still gives me a guide, and it's like, okay, you know, I'm not about to chop off my whole eyebrow because I can see the line and everything, and I need that, you know, so I definitely think it's been worth it. I know it may not be everyone's cup of tea, but for me, it worked. It really worked, and I'm really satisfied with the results. And I'll leave her Instagram. I'll put it here. Badgirl_brows on Instagram. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this, you know, if you are interested in getting microblading, I hope this helped. But yeah, if you have any questions, just leave them below. If you have any experience with your own microblading, I'd love to hear about it. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye-bye-bye.